ASMR. Chess. I know I've been away. Life has been a little tough, to put it mildly, but now I am back with a relaxing video for all of you amazing people that I'm so thankful for are still here. I will address the reasons why I've been away at the end of the video. It could be a bit of a bummer, so I don't want to, But for those curious, it will be at the end of the video. So if you don't know, I am ASMR Chess. I play chess. I make ASMR. I often use this amazing chessboard that has a computer in, and I could play against the computer in it, but right now I'm going to go on chess.com and play a 15-minute plus 10-second game against somebody on the internet. They will be playing on their computer or their phone somewhere, but I will be playing on this amazing board. If you are looking for a Christmas present, this one is, I think, a great option. And you can see my opponent plays this move, pawn to e4. We will respond with pawn to c5, the Sicilian defense. They play their knight out, I play my pawn out, and if you use the link and promo code and stuff in the description, you will get a 10% discount on the chessboard here, and you will also support the channel, which let's just say I wouldn't mind that. Okay, so we have an open Sicilian here. We can see the time displayed over here. It automatically flips the screen to show it from the perspective you are playing. I will play the knight out to f6, possibly going for a Sicilian dragon. Could go for a knight off, could go for a lot of different things. They played this move, which is a bit rare. Bishop to d3. Bishop to d3, bishop to d3. So I think the bishop would normally go to e2 or c4, and it's not really, I think it means they want to castle kingside. I think this move makes it advantageous for me to play knight to c6. Since the queen is no longer protecting the knight, this sort of forces this knight to react. So it has to either go back, losing tempo, or capture my knight, or be protected by the bishop, which does seem... that seems like it's exploitable. Could I already play something like knight coming to g4, being protected by the bishop? I think I can. So I think I'm already playing this rather aggressive move here. And okay, they do exchange the knight, which I believe is to my benefit. And I could even have considered capturing the bishop there. They capture my queen, I capture their queen, but I mean, that's maybe not necessary to go in for something that complicated. Okay, they put out their queen, and I think I will just chop off this bishop with the knight, because I have a plan to go for a so-called dragon setup, and without their dark squared bishop, my dark squared bishop will be very nice along this long diagonal here. And I think I am ready to do that. So I want to put the bishop on g7 to have this long diagonal. Yeah, and if you haven't heard me talk about this chessboard and you are thinking maybe it could be a cool Christmas present, so it's made, I'll just tell you what it's all about. It's called Chessboard 2. It's made by a company called Bright Labs. I know the owner and the inventor of the board, Jeff, a little bit. He's a super nice guy, and he came up with this idea because he was teaching his daughter chess, and he was like, when I touch the pieces, the board should show her where they can go. And he was then like, oh, wait a minute, I'm an engineer. I can kind of probably do that. And I'll castle here. And then he got more and more ideas and got on Shark Tank and got money as well to develop the idea and started working with chess.com. And it turns out that a chessboard with a chess computer inside it and Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, where all the squares can light up in different colors, it turns out that you can do a lot with that, like a lot. For instance, they have made it so that if you are a strong chess player and you are playing against a weak chess player, you can make it so that your opponent, when they touch a piece, it will show all the legal moves for that piece, but for instance, bad moves, they will be shown in red, okay moves will be shown in blue, and good moves will be shown in green, and you can adjust, fine-tune like how good a move is to be shown in green or whatever, like to your heart's content. So let's go bishop d7. You can play against bots. It will automatically, if you play like this game for instance, will automatically be logged on my account on chess.com, so I can easily play through it again. I can analyze it with the tools on chess.com. I mean, you can do basically anything. It's pretty amazing, to be honest. And 10% discount, just saying. Link in description. Okay, let's go back to the game. So I think I have pretty decent, nice position going on here. I have a lot of control on the dark squares, all developed. I have the bishop pair. I think a move as like c5, just potentially saying this bishop can now come here. If they move this pawn, it will come here immediately, pinning the queen to the king. So yeah, I mean, haven't done that like anything special, but seems to be going rather well. This knight is maybe defending here against the bishop, or it may want to reroute itself. I think I'll just improve this rook here, coming to b8. Now they play pawn to c3, so they really want to stop my bishop coming here, which of course makes a lot of sense. I don't have any active plans, but it doesn't look like my opponent does either, to be honest. Could there be a point in activating the queen a little bit? Like playing queen a5, attacking this pawn. Maybe they have to move the pawn. Maybe I think we'll try that. Or we could improve this bishop, but I think it's attacking this pawn. I think that could be relevant at some point. The alternative would be to move it here, but I'm not sure if that's really an improvement. So I think I will play the queen here, just probing a little bit, looking at this pawn here. And while we wait for my opponent's reply, I like to thank all the fans of the channel, all the patrons who very patiently have kept your patronage. That has been a huge help. I'm not sure I would have been able to come back if you hadn't, so thank you so much. I think I should probably turn off the sound on my phone. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so maybe the queen would want to at some point come over here. Maybe there would be a point in pushing this pawn further, kicking this bishop away. If that is something we really want to look at, then how are we protecting this square? Are we putting the bishop here? This bishop, could put it here. Here, so we could push that. The bishop would move away. The queen would come over here. I don't have any really active plans, to be very honest, so we'll just continue with these small moves. And I guess if they play something like knight f4, knight coming here, attacking the bishop, we would probably have to move it back, although it's not completely clear, because if they capture the bishop and we recapture, we do get another pawn in the center, which is pretty nice, and we do get this open file against their king. So I will probably move the bishop back, but I'm not completely sure that's the right way to go. And I am kind of in this weird situation where, I have this nice position. No, I don't want to resign. Sorry about all of this. Yeah, and it's a touch screen over here. And when you unbox the thing, it actually comes with a 3-month premium membership on chess.com, by the way. You unbox the thing, and you just connect it to your Wi-Fi, and you can connect it to your phone via Bluetooth as well, if you want to. And yeah, it's like really, it takes like 5 minutes from you unbox the thing until you are playing. Yeah, what do we think about this position? I think our opponent isn't really sure either. I feel we have the better position. We have the two bishops. Our dark squared bishop is pretty strong. It could someday come to e5, where it could potentially aid an attack against the king. And this rook is pretty good on an open file. This rook's not doing that much, but it is defending the king. So all these ideas with pushing f4 and stuff, we have a lot of pieces defending His Majesty over here. So okay, this knight is starting the process of rerouting, and I think that makes this move a little bit stronger now, because it now also takes away this square. And should we consider ways to transferring the queen over to the king side, maybe? I'm not sure it really works just yet. So I'm not... Like if I could put my queen here, that would be really nice. That would be really nice. No, do you know what I think I should consider playing? Maybe something like f5. Pawn takes, bishop takes, queen takes. And then, yeah, then probably this pawn down here is hanging. That's not a huge problem. This pawn here is hanging. Maybe that's a bit of a problem. So I think to prepare all of that, let's just play rook here, defending this pawn on a7, defending this pawn on e7. Also, potentially we could transfer this rook to b8 with an idea of just capturing this backwards pawn here. Is also an idea. Just playing this very, very simply, very, very slowly, maybe like Capablanca would do. So they are already striking, trying to avoid this. And I could consider capturing that with the pawn en passant. Oh, holy hell. Google en passant. Or I could just let it be, move the queen. I think actually there could be some tactical stuff I capture. Let's say bishop takes, knight takes. Maybe we can pin the knight, except the knight will be attacking the queen. I think we will capture this pawn here. Let's just look at this, because also the queen is attacking this pawn now. So I think I may be winning a pawn here. Actually, I'm also attacking. Okay, so they do capture with the knight. And this is, of course, attacking my queen. And I can consider chopping it off. But I could also just capture this pawn. Queen takes, bishop takes, everything is good, and I win a pawn. So I think that's just what we are going to do. Pretty simply just capture this pawn here. So let's do a material count. We have captured 3 pawns, and a knight, and a bishop. So that totals 3, 6, 9 points. 3, 6, 8 points. So we are ahead in the material count by 1 point. And we still have the 2 bishops. So I think it's a nice, sort of smooth sailing kind of game, not doing anything too special at all. Just hanging out, having a good time, playing some simple chess, slowly getting some advantage. I think Capablanca would be very happy about this. Okay, so we can probably just exchange the rooks here. But we could also just defend this other rook like so. It's because then it's a little bit better, because in this variation our rook is now on the 7th rank, so there is a little bit of protection of these pawns going on. And could we consider pinning this knight to the rook? Does that make any sort of sense? I think it's a pretty solid idea. Let's go with that, like so. And you can see the power of the bishops here, really kind of dominating the board here. We can consider chopping this knight off and sort of infiltrate with the rook, maybe. We can consider... Okay, so they defended like this. So we could consider bishop takes, rook up, bishop takes, then let's say bishop takes, then bishop here to chop off this. They can pin it with rook to b1, but then we play this rook here so that we can still capture. They will have to move this. I kind of like it. And it will give up a bit of my advantage, but it will, of the two bishops, I mean. But it could also make the position quite a bit easier to play, maybe. So I'm not exactly sure, but let's just keep it very simple. I think we will see. Okay, we see rook takes. So probably something like just bishop here, attacking this pawn. It's defended by the rook, so maybe it's not a big problem for them. I mean, this position is very relaxing. I hope you're really relaxed. Okay, they just advance the pawn. I'd like to advance this pawn here, putting it on a dark square, so it can never be attacked by this bishop, and it can be an anchor point for this bishop at some point, you know, where it can stand there nicely, be protected. So for the end game, that should be pretty nice. Now, one thing that I know is that okay, they start improving their king. Is that having opposite colors in the end game, opposite colored bishops, actually makes a draw more likely, which means that our advantage may not be as great as it looks, because we could risk having the extra pawn all the way to the very late end game, but the fact that we have the opposite colored bishops makes it impossible to win. However, barring any grievous mistakes, we are not, I think, in any great risk of losing this game. And I think after this move, offering the trade of rooks, even less so. I think I will just chop off this rook, and now we just need to get a very active king, and then we should be then everything should be nice, should be smooth sailing from there. So let's think about how to activate the king. maybe we just... Maybe we actually go out to the with this bishop here. So maybe if we put the bishop here, then okay, the king enters. And I was thinking that we could play something like this. And then the king's probably going to activate against, okay, no, it's coming here. I think we have an excellent opportunity now to clarify the pawn structure. Which is something we would very much like to do in this position. And I think here moves such as this will hopefully aid that endeavor. We have 5 minutes left, but we get 10 seconds on every move. I mean, this shouldn't be a big problem. Okay, and I think probably chopping this pawn off could be advantageous to us. It takes one of our weaker pawns, makes that leave the chessboard. Okay, they capture with the king, and we advance with our king. And I think there is some risk that the game will be a draw because of the opposite colored bishops. But other than that, I don't see any great risks right now, and I hope a move, if it's possible to ever play g5, will be very good. Then the big question, of course, will be: is there a way to break through? And I mean, it's pretty relaxing to have a game where you almost only risk that it will be a draw. You're not risking losing, and you're just, we're just having a good, cozy time trying to figure out if there is a way to break through. So now we both have a passed pawn. And I could consider, I think this is probably a bit of a critical moment. Maybe, let's say I play h5, pawn takes, then there's a little bit of isolation going on, but it looks very drawish. If pawn takes here, pawn takes, it's the kind of the same. If I just leave it there, I don't have any moves I could like play pawn to g5, but they can just waste time with their bishop as much as they want to. It looks very much like a draw. I must be honest here. I think my intuition says that this one is the most active try, so we will try that. Maybe if we can have like a backwards pawn on g4 maybe. Maybe we can then attack it with the king. I think if we can make it so that they are not, okay, they capture like this, we will of course recapture that. No problem. And maybe we can make a backwards pawn here. We can try to tie their king down to that. Does look very drawish, I must say. So they are not infiltrating with their king, and even if they did, we can always just put the bishop on b4, and there is no way they can threaten any of these pawns, because the bishop will forever be protected by a pawn, and it will forever protect this pawn, it will forever protect this pawn. So as long as we have our king over here in front of these pawns, they are never going to break free. So we are still not in any risk of losing the game, and we can sort of slowly try to see if there could be any way to make any sort of progress. And it doesn't really look like it, to be honest, but you know, Magnus Carlsen would, he always, you know, plays on and on and on, looking for tiny things that he can exploit, and we will try to do the same. Okay, they capture like this. We will, of course, recapture. And at least now we can theoretically attack this pawn with the king. Of course, they can also very easily defend like so. So I'm not sure we can really claim that we won anything in particular there. Let's try to go here with the king. And so what could be any way to try to win this game? In order to win this game, I would probably have to at some point be able to play this pawn forward. I don't know if that's going to be at all possible if they just move this bishop back and forth. Then I don't, okay, they do this. I mean, is there really nothing we can do here? Let's say we go here, bishop comes here, we go here, bishop goes back. We are not, like, we could of course consider coming here, trying to get around this way to maybe get access to this square so we can play this move. So I think we'll try this. Of course, that is a little bit more risky, because the further the king gets away from this pawn, the more we are risking actually potentially getting a losing position. But I think this is maybe not such a great move for them. because now this pawn can be subject to attack. So if we attack it with the bishop, it will almost certainly go here. We will go here. The bishop will go back somewhere. And this king will forever look at this. We could even have the bishop cutting it off, and we would get a more active king. Or we could come in here, but that doesn't. So I think we are just doing this. And they go here. And we go here with an attack on the bishop and on the pawn. So now this bishop kind of a little bit has to stay protecting this pawn on this diagonal. I don't know if we are really getting closer to in any way breaking through, but if we manage to put this bishop here, then it will make it so that this pawn can't advance, which would free up our king a little bit, and then we can try to put our king maybe on e6, then try to play d5, and that should be quite nice, I think. So I think we are still in this kind of situation where we are not really risking anything. If they try to activate the king, we can, for instance, just put the bishop here, or we could activate our king, attack their bishop. If they take, we take. I think we are winning that. Although it's not completely, I'm not completely sure, but I think we are winning that. Yeah, and I wish all of you happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and all whatever holiday you may or may not celebrate. I hope all of you are having a great time, and it feels so good to be back here on the channel, and I will really do my very best to keep making content. But as I will explain at the end of the video, stuff has been a little bit tough, so yeah. So our opponent is burning some time now. They are really trying to come up with a plan. Okay, the bishop drops back, so I think we will then go for this idea where we will cut off this pawn with the bishop so we can free up the king. So this comes here, so now I want to go here, and of course they may advance this bishop here, so I can't go here. And they have a lot of time to do that. Okay, they come here with their king. Now, could it be that by going here, because this pawn here is attacked, if I go here, they capture that, I advance this pawn, maybe they just try to run with this, I capture, they go here, and they are actually, then we're queening at the same time, and I have an extra bishop, which is good for me. So I go here, They capture, I go here. They move the bishop, maybe back, I advance. And then I can start to go after this, maybe? Is this what we have been waiting for? So king goes here, they capture, we give up the pawn, we advance this pawn, they move the bishop, we advance it once more. I think this could be it. Yeah, I think we will try this. But this, it could be risky in a multitude of ways. But I don't think it's that risky. Okay, they do capture here, so we do advance this pawn. And it feels like we are maybe getting somewhere. Their king is not ideally placed to deal with this pawn. It's pretty far away. Our bishop is... Okay, so they go here. And I think... So the question is if we can ever get rid of that bishop. If we advance this king, this pawn, then they don't have time to move this one because we get closer. So they just waste a move with their king, or they try to get closer with their king. And then we try to go here, but I'm not completely sure how to play this, to be honest. We are running out of time a little bit. I think I will try this. Because this bishop can come here to protect the queening square. Which could be what we need, maybe. And our king is kind of nicely active. I think if they advance the pawn, we just attack the bishop. I think we may have found a way through. Maybe we will end up winning their bishop. So if they advance the pawn, which they do, go like this. Now they probably have to move their bishop, I think. So they go here. We go here. And I think this is probably a winning situation now. Maybe I should go on chess.com after the game to figure out if this is winning. It looks very good to me. So I advance this pawn, boom, boom. They have to give up the bishop. Our king is better positioned than their king. Their king will have to go all the way over here to capture my bishop, and then I will be close to this pawn. I can go over here, take this pawn. Okay, they do it like this, which is interesting. An interesting way to do it, but it does make a lot of sense. So that's how they get the draw. That's how they get the draw. They go here, and then they are ready to queen. That's how they get the draw, huh? That's how they're going to do it. Very clever. I advance this, they take, I take. They go here, and that's going to be a draw. Okay. They capture here. Okay, it's just going to be a draw. Opposite colored bishops is they go here. They make a queen. We capture the queen. And they capture this. We give a check. And we will offer the draw. The king will go here. And we will go, I don't know. Yeah, they accepted the draw. Thank you very much. It's a draw because we can't win with this. And this pawn will just try to advance. And for us to make so it doesn't become a queen, we will capture it. And then there will be no pieces left except the kings, and the game will be a draw. I will look forward to analyzing that, to see how well I played. If you can see that the video is like longer than more than 5 minutes from now, it's because I made a screen capture of that. Yeah, and I promised I would tell a little bit about why I've been away for so long. And so what happened was that the rock was pulled away from under me in my personal life. I got a divorce, and I have had health issues as well. And with the divorce and the health issues came a lot of economic challenges. So I've been having a pretty rough time trying to scrape by, and so sorry that that meant that I haven't had time to answer your comments and make more videos. I will. It seems like things are stabilizing a little bit now, so I will hopefully be able to make a video again next week. I will say that I really don't like the whole baking thing or anything, but if you have ever considered supporting me on Patreon, or you think that my content is worthy of that, anything like that, now is, I mean, I wouldn't spend the money on frivolous pursuits. They would be put to good use. Let's just put it like that. And I'm sorry for mentioning this in my situation. It really is shouldn't be your problem at all, and you are completely free to ignore all of this. Of course you are, and I really just hope that you had a good time. I hope you're actually asleep, and thank you so much for coming back to the channel after all this time. thank you for still being there. Thank you so much for all the awesome patrons who kept up their patronage even though I didn't post for months and months. You are amazing, and I love all of you. All of you who just watch, all of you who also like, all of you who also comment, and all of you who support the channel in some way. I love you dearly, and I'm sorry for being away. I will do my best to be back now. So thank you very much for watching. I hope I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. What is this? A little secret extra thing going on. It's a little birthday message to a great friend of the channel, and it sounds like this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gaiden. Happy birthday to you. It's time to wake up, Gaiden, to your 36th birthday. All the way down there, down under, in Melbourne, Australia. This is a little message from ASMR Chess and your good friend Noodles, wishing you a happy birthday. And I would like to personally thank you for being such a great friend of my little channel here. Today your dog Odessa will give you lots of cuddles and kisses, and I hope that you will spend your morning walking the streets with your partner Sinead to Maria's, the local coffee spot. And maybe if you can grab 2 or 3 croissants, you know, one for you, one for Noodles, and one for me. And feel free to have mine, because I live as far away from Australia that I think it's almost possible. Well, I do hope that you have a great day, and that you can cap off the night at Capitano's, and as a nice restaurant visit to cap off a good birthday for you. So yeah, all the best, and thank you again. I hope I will see you in the next video.